dum, and we are recording. Guess what, folks? It's a Sunday! Yes, it fucking is. Time for a bit of what's up. Vic! Why wasn't there any reviews up last week, Vic? Trying to hold back the rantiness. Let me tell you a story, right? And while I'm switching between vapey products, I'll give you my buffet while I'm telling this story. JH's 502 and the signature topside mechanical squonker. This thing, for the people that haven't seen it before, because I know some of you are new. Full mechanical 21700 squonker, big fucking huge squonk bottle. JH's 502 dripper sitting on top. In fact, the battery in this needs replaced. I need to, because I was noticing it wasn't hitting as good. Pop you there, and I need to pick up one of the new 21700s, which is that one and not that one. So let me tell you a story. So when it comes to video production, especially when you get to the stage of, there we go. That was almost a dry hit there. This is why, yeah, look at that, fucking pure white. This is why I hate using drippers. Even when they're on squonks, I end up forgetting to squonk and I almost get a dry hit. That was almost a dry hit, fucking close to it. So, video editing, right? That's better. Video editing chews up a lot of memory. Whether it's memory on the video card, or whether in my case, during the editing process, it's memory on the actual motherboard. So, you've got your motherboard that everything essentially plugs into. The CPU, the graphics card, the RAM memory, and all the peripherals and everything else gets plugged into the main board itself. So I bought this fucking thing. This is the Asus Crosshair Hero 8. It's the last generation of Crosshair Heroes for the AM4 AMD platform. Because for the people that don't know, AMD have now switched to the AM5 socket. The AM4 socket for the first generations of Ryzen ran for about 10 years. It was a good run for that socket. They've now moved up to AM5 for the AMD Ryzen 7000 processors and above. I'm running a Ryzen 5000 series processor, right? This PC that I've got sitting here is actually the old PC from the studio, the old house PC. I stripped that thing down ages ago and sold off bits of it on Facebook Marketplace to get money to upgrade this thing. So it used to be an AMD 3000 processor, 3700 I think it was. Now it's an AMD 5800X with brand new memory and with an updated motherboard. And I got all this from selling the old house PC, right? So, you've got two types of memory, registered and unregistered. Unregistered is the kind of memory that you've probably got in your computer right now, whether you're running an Apple or whether a Mac, or whether you're running an IBM PC compatible, a house desktop PC. Now, if you're running a server, an actual bona fide server in a rack of some kind, and you've got an actual bona fide server board, whether it's Intel Xeon or whether it's Threadripper or whether it's Epic from AMD, you're probably running registered memory. Now, there's a big difference between registered and unregistered memory. Unregistered memory, something can go horribly wrong with a program with the memory, right? Or to do with the program's code in the memory, and 9 times out of 10 the memory will ignore it and continue on. Unregistered memory. The problem is when you're doing live streams or when you're doing like I'm doing in this thing here with the new motherboard, because that one sucks. But right, moving on. When I'm doing with the new motherboard, if you're doing a lot of editing, or if you're doing a lot of video encoding, or if you're doing a lot of live streaming, a lot of you have probably noticed this, but the live streams that I do, especially since I came back here to the house after the studio shut down, the live streams are very crisp and clear. Very crisp and clear. Very crisp. That's because I've been using registered memory. And if you closely look at the reviews, especially the full review that goes up on Rumble, you'll notice that the review encode, the encoding of that review is very crisp and clear for a 1080p output, because that's what I usually output the reviews at, 1080p. It's not worth doing 1440, and it sure as hell isn't worth doing 4K when over 70% of the people that watch the reviews on the channel, whether it be this channel here for the short review or whether it be Rumble, are watching it on a mobile phone. Yeah, over 70% of the people that watch my reviews are watching it on a mobile phone. It's pointless doing 4K on a screen that's that size. It's pointless. So that's why I stick to 1080. That's why I've always stuck to 1080. More and more people are using their mobile phones, or their tablets for that matter, to watch content that's on YouTube. It's pointless doing 4K. Totally pointless. So I use registered memory on that piece of shit currently sitting behind me. Now, I was led to fucking believe by calm. Right, let's move on to something else. What we're going to vape on now. We will vape on Nightmare. Still using the Nightmare. I haven't touched the old Osiris 25 since this thing came in. Still using Nightmare on the Pinecone. I don't know what the fuck the name of this is. The Pinecone mod from Stu over at Vape Smarter. Big thanks to Stu, by the way, for popping onto the UK Vape Show this week. Very, very, very interesting discussions went on. So I was led to believe, right, that the Asus Crosshair Hero 8 with the latest BIOS, at that time the latest BIOS, which was like, when did I buy that board? About 2.5 years ago, when I moved here. Well, not moved here, when I shut down the studio and came back here. I was led to believe by Asus's own goddamn fucking website, Calm, that board could handle ECC, registered memory. Now, technically speaking, it handled it. Technically speaking, because it was running with registered memory. Trouble was, crash. Oh, you want to open Adobe Premiere Pro? Crash. I don't fucking think so, dude. Oh, you want to run, and some of you remember the live streams dating back to a year ago where it was crash. No fucking warning. Fucking OBS Streamlabs just went, fuck you, and the fucking entire Windows operating system basically shut down. That was with the beta version of the late 2003 BIOS. Now, I was led to fucking... fuck you, Asus. I was led to believe by Asus's spiel that they put out about their BIOSes that they were opening up the Crosshair 8 motherboard to registered memory support. Now, inherently speaking, the higher end chips from the AMD 5000 line, so we're talking about the AMD 5700, AMD 5800, 800X, AMD 5900 and 5950X, the last generation high end chips, high-end desktop chips from the previous generation of AM4. Now, I'm not talking about AM5 because I don't have an AM5 board or an AM5 chip. The AM5 boards are way too fucking expensive right now. And plus, it's a new platform. I'd rather wait until that platform matures out before I jump into it and sell this thing sitting here. But I was led to believe by Asus, I think it was over at CES, the Consumer Electronics Exposition Expo thingamabob that happens in Taiwan, I think, because I distinctly fucking remember one of the head tech people of fucking Asus up on fucking I'm getting fucking wound up here. Fucking tech companies that lie piss me the fuck off. They really fucking do. So you had one of the tech people up a couple of years ago. This was at the end when AMD had released news that the AM5 platform is going to be a thing, and the AM4 platform is being slowly wound down. This was a couple of years ago. And I distinctly remember one of the chief tech people of Asus up on stage saying that their higher end motherboards, which covers the one that I just showed you, which is the Crosshair Hero 8, the BIOS updates that will be released 2 months after the CES, or CEX, whatever the fuck it's called, would have registered memory support added in. Now, technically speaking, again, it's technicalities here. Technically speaking, they did, but it was piss poor support. It was crash after crash after crash after crash. And last week, no, in fact, it was 2 weeks ago now, when there was 3 reviews up on the channel, and the computer seemed to be shutting down for no fucking reason. Fucking no reason. Just see ya. Oh, you're halfway through an edit? Not now, you're not. Now you're looking at a blank screen. And I thought to myself, what the fuck's causing this? Because it was getting worse and worse and worse and worse, progressively worse. And I was trying all the fucking tricks. Upping the socket voltage. Maybe I thought it was a problem with the fucking overclock that was going on. Wasn't that. Upping the memory voltage by like 0.1, just to give the memory that a little bit more push. Wasn't that. Upping all the other voltages in the background, the voltages to do with the chipset itself. It wasn't that. Was it DC, DDC voltage or some shit like that? Wasn't that. Running the motherboard at loaded optimal defaults in the BIOS, still crashed. Still fucking crashed. So then I done a bit of digging. And then I found out that Asus's support for registered memory is only on paper. It's only on paper. Basically, it's only on paper. Because registered memory, the way that registered memory works, it basically checks what's on the actual memory. If there's a corrupted bit of bits there, if there's a corrupted section of a program, it will go back to that program and ask that program to replace the corrupted section of memory. And if that corrupted section of programming cannot be replaced, well, it gives you a warning. It actually gives you a warning. But what Asus's technical solution was, it didn't give you the warning, it just crashed. Just, see ya, bye. All you people out there that have been looking at Facebook Marketplace, you've probably noticed a lot of tough boards, the higher end boards from Asus, and you've probably noticed a lot of Crosshair Hero 7 and well, not so much Hero 7, I think it was only the Hero 8, but Crosshair Hero 8 boards suddenly appear in Facebook Marketplace over the past couple of months. This is why. Because the word eventually got out, it was basically leaked out by someone in Asus, that their registered memory support is only on paper. It's only on paper. Technically speaking, it can run registered memory, but technically speaking, it fucking crashes all the fucking time. So now I've got a new motherboard. Yeah. I got the makers mixed up during the Saturday show, by the way, during the Saturday show yesterday. I think I said it was a gigabyte. No, it's an MSI. It's an MSI. I can't remember the fucking name of the board now. And I've chucked out the box. It's an MSI motherboard that's in it. I think Aorus is gigabyte. It's not Aorus. It's an MSI board. So that fucking pile of crap behind me, right? 325 fucking... Yeah, I know. 325 fucking quid that thing cost it brand new. The motherboard that's in here right now, £99.50. And it actually handles registered memory with no fucking problems. Fuck you, Asus. Fuck you to hell and back. Yeah. So, long story short, I spent 3 days of this week stripping out everything from inside this machine. Everything. Because if you're replacing a motherboard, everything needs to get removed. So the CPU got pulled out, the all-in-one cooler got pulled out, all-in-one water cooler got pulled out, RAM sticks got pulled out, graphics card got pulled out, everything was pulled out, and I took the opportunity to basically wash out the case, which, to be honest, it needed a bit of a washout. I vape a lot. And I think I've mentioned this before. If you do not have positive pressure in your case, in other words, more fans blowing air in than fans pulling air out. If you don't have positive pressure, if you've got negative pressure, which is more fans pulling air out than fans pushing air in, you're going to get condensing problems with vapor getting inside your case. And this computer was set up for negative air pressure, because at the old studio was basically aircon. There was an aircon duct that was at the very corner in the old studio, so the studio was nice and cool all the fucking time, because I like my places nice and cool. So I didn't really have to use positive air pressure in this thing, and I wasn't really vaping that much in the studio because I had a nasty tendency of clouding out the entire fucking floor because of the aircon system. So here at the house, when this machine ended up being transplanted here, I started to notice there was small pools of VG. There literally was small pools of VG underneath the front filter. So the front filter was sucking in the vapour from the room. But because there was no positive air pressure going on inside the case, it couldn't hold off the VG. So it was just pulling the whole lot straight fucking in. It was going inside the case and hanging around in there as well. So both sides of the filter was getting hammered with vapour, and it was literally dripping out the bottom of the filters. Literally dripping out the bottom. So pulled everything out, literally washed the case out and let it sit and dry for 24 hours in front of a fan, and then the next day popped everything back in, and it's been running fucking fine. It's been running fine. I have encoded several videos, several reviews, no, in fact 2 reviews for next week. Not a single sign of a crash, not a single sign of a stutter, not a single sign of a slowdown. Everything ran tickety-boo. And also during the UK Vape Show that was on Thursday, that was the day after I got this computer back together again, not any sign of a struggle going on at all. None at all. So yeah, the reviews are going to be back this week coming. I think it's I think one of the reviews is for this thing, actually, which is the Asgard V2 Mini. I think that's coming up this coming week. So yeah, that's been my week, folks. The money to get this new board, I got that from the sale of one of the last standing lights from the old studio, because as everyone knows, a lot of the stuff that was left from the old studio was basically transported here, and the last of the dome lights was sold a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, I was keeping that money away because I was eventually planning to save up for a new graphics card. That's not going to fucking happen now, because I had to get a new fucking motherboard. But yeah, I was eventually planning and saving up to get a new graphics card, because the GeForce, or RTX, sorry, the RTX 5000 series is launched. So the RTX 4000 series cards, like the 4060, the 4070, 4070 Super and 4080, are going to be going down in price as everyone sells them off second hand. And that's what I've been looking at. I've been looking at Facebook Marketplace to pick up a 4070 or a 4080 second hand, but yeah, nothing's been catching my fancy yet. What I'm probably going to do is wait until after the May Expo and then see if the prices have went down any further since then. Anyway, that's basically it, folks. That's really it. It's been a week of me cursing fucking Asus and getting this computer fixed. That's essentially been my week. Just fucking nightmarish week of redoing a computer from top to bottom. Yeah, I enjoy putting computers together, but I don't enjoy putting computers together if it wasn't my fucking fault. Fucking Asus. What the fuck? That motherboard behind me. It's probably going to end up in Facebook Marketplace. It's a good board if you're not using registered memory. It's a fucking phenomenal board. Asus's top of the line motherboard, but don't use registered memory on it. You're just going to get nothing but crashes, and that's it with the latest BIOS in it as well. That's it with the latest one. So what's happening with the channel? Nothing much, to be honest. I am considering, I don't know if I'm actually going to do it yet, but I'm considering contacting one of the major vendors, online vendors here in the UK, because I've been noticing a worrying trend, very worrying trend, to do with electronic cigarette manufacturers over in Shenzhen. I haven't been contacted by Geek Vape for the better part of 5 months now, and a number of UK reviewers have also been noticing this with other companies like Geek Vape, like Aspire. They seem to be pulling back from the UK review scene. Now, whether this has got something to do with the white paper bill that's currently going through Parliament, and the sections of that white paper bill that's got to do with advertising and marketing, I don't know, because they wouldn't tell me. Because I did send an email to Geek Vape, and Geek Vape's exact reply was, we have decided to change direction at this moment in time. They wouldn't go into exact details, but the direction they're choosing is, we're not going to be giving that many review samples to reviewers in the UK now. And I am sure as hell not making enough money to continue, or to even start, for that matter, to start buying products in for review, because at an average of 2 reviews per week, that's 2, 4, 6, 8. That's 8 products I would need to buy in over the span of, 3 or 4 weeks. I don't have enough money to do that, because the channel's not making any more money, because it's practically demonetized now. And even though there's a lot of people watching over in Rumble, the Rumble monetization system is a little bit more stricter than the monetization system over here on YouTube. I mean, sure, I am making money from Rumble, but there's only like 1,500 subscribers over there. I mean, okay, I'm getting like 1,200 to 1,500 views in the video, but that would need to basically triple before I'm making any kind of spendable cash from Rumble. So I've been seriously considering teaming up with an online vendor in the UK. Now, I haven't decided on which one yet. I haven't even contacted any of them. I mean, there's a myriad of them. You've got Vaping 101, you've got eSig1. There's a myriad of online vendors, well-known online vendors in the UK. And the idea I had was, anything new that came in, they send it over to me and they get a big advert and shout out. Because here's the thing, because the full review's no longer on YouTube, it's on Rumble, I can actually get away with advertising shops. Can't do it here on the main review, or not the shortened review, sorry, but I can do it on the Rumble and X video. I can do it over there. So I need to make a decision. I need to make a decision, because there is only a handful of companies left, one of them being Oxford, one of them being SX Mini, another one being Steam Crave, another one being Vapors Cloud / Suicide Mods. What's the other one? Smock, they haven't contacted me for months. Geek Vape haven't contacted me for months. Aspire, they're still contacting me now and again. Anyone else? I think that's it. That's it. All the other companies, they've essentially ditched UK reviewers. They ditched them. And it's not just me. There's a number of others. And the only way for me to get new products in for review is to either spend an exorbitant amount of money that I can't afford. Because even if I am working for SX Mini and doing their social media, that's the money that's keeping a roof over my head. I can't basically cut into that money and start spending money to do reviews on YouTube if it means that I can't pay the rent. Simple as that, folks. Simple as that. So the only option left is to basically work with an online shop. I haven't decided on which shop yet. That's the thing, I haven't decided on which one. I'm going to be thinking about it over the next couple of weeks, and then I'm going to be contacting a couple of online vendors, just a couple, to see what they think. What they're basically going to get from me is essentially a shitload of advertising for their shop on X, formerly Twitter, and on Rumble. They're not going to get it here on YouTube because you can't do it, but they're going to be getting it on X and Rumble. And the way that the views are going on the reviews for the channel, the reviews are slowly shifting over to Rumble and X now. They are slowly shifting over because there's a number of videos on X, especially for the rebuildable stuff, that's getting thousands of views. Thousands of views, whereas the review here on YouTube, because it's the shortened version, it's getting nowhere near those numbers now. So, yeah. It's something I'm going to have to think of, because if this channel is going to keep doing reviews, it's going to have to keep getting stuff in from the likes of Geek Vape, from the likes of Smock. Smock haven't contacted me for fucking months. But from the likes of Geek Vape, from the likes of Smock, from the likes of Vandy Vape, you know, without those mainstream companies, the reviews on this channel are going to fizzle up and dry. Because, I mean, okay, I'm still getting contacted by Oxford, but Oxford's not Smock. They're not releasing pods every week. You know, there needs to be mainstream vaping content, whether it be pods, whether it be starter kits. There needs to be mainstream vaping content on this channel so I can actually put up a couple of reviews a week, or maybe even 3 reviews a week. Right now, there's not enough stuff coming in to keep doing that. There just isn't. Because by the looks of it, the major Shenzhen e-cigarette companies are pulling back from having their items being sent to UK reviewers. Now again, I don't know if it's anything to do with that white paper. I don't know. Or they're pulling back, waiting to see what happens after June the 1st, after the disposable ban. I don't know. They won't fucking say. They just won't say. They won't say. So anyway, it's been an interesting month, couple of months actually, on the channel. Very interesting couple of months, because as I look over to the likes of Mike Vapes and Daniel DGLSB Vapes, they're getting products and I've never fucking heard of from the likes of Geek Vape. Because here's the thing as well, if you look at Geek Vape's marketing, the actual marketing, they're not advertising in the UK either. It's as if Geek Vape have decided to basically remove themselves from the UK market. Sure, you can get the new Sonder Wenax Cube, or the fuck it's called, the latest Wenax Sonder kit. You can still get them in the shops. But you look for any advertising for it, or any marketing for it, you're not going to find any. And that's not the Geek Vape that I remember. Because Geek Vape were all about the marketing. They're not doing it now. They're not doing it. Which has led me to believe they are worried, and not just them, a load of other companies are worried about what's in that white paper. The wording of that white paper that's currently passing through Parliament. Are they worried that the door could be open for them to have heavy fines for influencer marketing on the likes of Instagram, on the likes of X, and in some cases, yes, on the likes of here on YouTube? Are they worried that that could be happening? Who knows? Because Geek Vape sure as fuck ain't saying. They sure as fuck ain't saying. So the only way around it is for me to work with an online vendor. The trouble is, which one? That's the thing. Which fucking one? There's loads of them. There's fucking loads of them. It's also got to be an online vendor that actually does get the latest and greatest kits in, whether it be the latest pod kit or whether it be the latest rebuildable. Although in a lot of cases, rebuildable manufacturers actually contact me directly. So what I'm talking about is the stuff at the beginner end of the market. The pod kits, the starter kits, the stock coil sub-ohm tank kits. 9 times out of 10, if it's a rebuildable, it's usually not a manufacturer in mainstream China. Usually it's the likes of Vapor Cloud. Usually it's the likes of Suicide Mods. Usually it's the likes of Steam Crave. And they usually contact me anyway, but it's for the beginner side of the market. I'm not getting any contacts. None. None at all. But anyway, That's going to be something for me to figure out over the rest of this month. Over the rest of this month, I'm going to be figuring that one out. I still have a very worrying suspicion that this has got to do with the new marketing rules that could be coming in via that white paper. I have got a sneaky suspicion that's what's got them worried. Because it's not like Geek Vape to basically ditch an entire country. Just like that. Just like that. No to very little marketing, and basically removing themselves from the majority of influencers and reviewers on Instagram and on YouTube. That is not the modus operandi. Oh, big posh words. That's not the modus operandi of Geek Vape. Geek Vape has got one of the best, well, with the exception of Vaporesso, who took it up several fucking levels, but Geek Vape's got one of the best marketing teams in the e-cig industry. Vaporesso's got the best marketing team because they've fucking hired half of the UK, but they've got the best. But when it comes to companies outside of Smoor and Vaporesso, Geek Vape's up there. They know how to market their shit, and they're not marketing. They're doing very little advertising, and they're pulling out of the influencer and reviewer games completely. This is what's got me thinking it's that white paper that's the cause of this, because it's not just Geek Vape, it's Smok. It's not just Smok and Geek Vape, it's Vandy Vape. It's not just those three. To a certain extent, Aspire is beginning to do it. They're still contacting me, but they're beginning to go down that road. And if you see not just one, not two, not three, but 4 and possibly 5 mainstream Shenzhen Chinese companies going down that road, you know something's wrong. One company to do it, that could be an outlier. It could be their internal marketing choice to do that. 2 companies doing it, that's when I start to worry. More than 2, something's wrong. Something is seriously wrong. Especially when these same companies are fine with sending their products over to reviewers in the United States. They're fine with sending their products over to many, but not all, countries of the European Union, but they completely skip the United Kingdom. Something's wrong. Something's definitely wrong. And it can't be the case of, oh, well, that you must have pissed them off. It's not just me. It's not just me. There's a load of other reviewers and influencers in the UK that's noticed the exact same thing happening over the past 2 to 3 months. Sure, I may have pissed off Smok several times in the past, but they always come back talking to me again because they always replace their marketing team and they forget I pissed them off. But I've never pissed off Geek Vape. I've never pissed off Aspire. I pissed off Vandy Vape twice when they cloned the whole Simon Coily tool thing, but that was fucking years ago, and they started talking to me again. The only company that doesn't talk to me is basically Anakin, because they can't take any criticism, because their heads are up their fucking ass. Hi Anakin, fuck you as well. But I mean, that's the only company that really doesn't fucking talk to me. Anakin. All the rest of them, they talk to me fine. So, I mean, I don't know. All I'm going to say to wrap this video up, if you have not read that, and I know a lot of you haven't, if you have not read that white paper, seriously, if you're a vapor and you enjoy vaping, read it. Ignore the first couple of pages because that's all bump. Go into page 3 or 4 and then that's when the serious shit starts to hit. The stuff to do with marketing, the stuff to do with advertising, the stuff to do with e-liquids, the stuff to do with vape shops and the possibility of vape licensing, the vape licensing system, possible future taxation. It goes on and fucking on. And the longer you read it, the more depressing the future for vaping looks in the UK. Now, I haven't been pushing it that much on this channel or on Rumble because I've been busy shifting the emphasis away from YouTube onto Rumble and watching to see how the waves progress on. But now, I mean, you've seen it with the restart of the UK Vape Show with Stu from Vape Smarter. I plan to get John Dunn back on from UK Via. I plan to contact Richard Sidebottom from Arcus Compliance. I plan, and I've already sent a couple of emails out to the secretary. Need a cup of tea? Hold on. My bottom teeth are loose. Yeah, I wear false teeth for the people that don't. My bottom teeth are loose. They're not fitting. They kind of... So, I have already contacted the press secretary of West Streeting for the Department of Health, and I plan to get someone on. Whether it be one of the because it won't be Wes Streeting himself. That's not going to fucking happen. It's just not going to happen. But it'll be one of the under-secretaries to the private secretary of Wes Streeting. But I want somebody from the fucking Labour Party on the UK Vape Show to answer some serious fucking questions. Just between me and them, whoever they're going to be. Between me and them. Just me and them, asking some serious fucking questions about what they plan to do with the vaping industry. Serious fucking questions. That's what I've got slated on for the UK Vape Show over the next 4 to 7 months, running up to, through, and beyond the May Expo. The UK Vape Show is going to become the serious vaping show. Well, not actually serious because I'm the one hosting it, but you know what I mean. We talk about the serious subjects, like a possible flavour ban, which may or may not happen. The possible taxation of vaping, which may or may not happen. The possible licensing structures for vape shops, which may or may not happen. Again, this is all still in the air because that fucking white paper, they don't nail any specifics down. That's why it's passing. That's why it's passing. They don't nail the specifics down. But yeah, the UK Vape Show is going to be taking a lot more interest and a lot more time in the future of vaping in the United Kingdom. And get well soon as well, Aidan. You are missed on the UK Vape Show. In fact, I'll need to send you a message, Aidan. I keep meaning to do that, but you know me, I keep fucking forgetting. I need to send you a message, Aidan, see how you're getting on. But yeah, Aidan's not quit, by the way. He's not quit. He's in a bad place health-wise. That's all I'm going to say. He's in a very bad place health-wise. He's lost a lot of weight, not by choice either, but because he's in a very bad place health-wise. But I think he was starting to recover the last time I spoke to him. I need to send a message to him, see how he's getting on. But yeah, that's the path I'm doing with the UK Vape Show, folks. We need to start taking that white paper very seriously, because the first part of that white paper technically comes in, well, it's a separate bill from the white paper, but it was bundled together. The first part of that white paper technically comes into effect this year, which is the June the 1st ban on the sales of disposable electronic cigarettes. That takes place this year. The rest of that white paper is slated for 2026. Guess what, folks? It's currently 2025. We've got less than a year to go until it's 2026. And I can guarantee you this year's going to go, oh, there it goes. Oh, look, it's 2026. Oh, fuck, flavours are banned. What the fuck happened here? Someone needs to take stock as to what is actually happening in the electronic cigarette industry. And as basically the only reviewer in the UK, or the only big reviewer, because there is other reviewers like Mark Solom who does delve into this, but only big reviewer that's got a big following who's actually taking some interest in the advocacy side of things. I need to jump into this pool with both feet. Because right now I've been dipping my toe in the fucking water. Because let's face it, folks, advocacy is two things. Number one, it's as boring as fuck, because it is. And number two, it's depressing as fuck, because it generally fucking is. It generally is. And let's face it, folks, us folks here in the UK have had it easy over the past 15 years. Think about it. David Cameron and Nick Clegg's joint cooperative fucking parliament thing, when the Tories got back in after the disaster of Gordon Brown's premiership. That was like 14, 15 years ago. So you had You had David Cameron and Nick Clegg. The next Parliament was David Cameron by himself. Cameron fucked off, and who the fuck replaced him? Cameron fucked off, and Theresa May took his place. Still Conservative government. Theresa May fucked up and fucked off, and then it was Boris Johnson. Still a Conservative government. Boris had fucking parties or some shit during COVID, so he fucked off. And then it was, oh my god, it was Liz Truss. She was an abject fucking... She lasted 40 fucking days. Conservative. 7th Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak. Now that's a space of 14 years, and it wasn't until halfway through Rishi Sunak's premiership that they started attacking vaping. And they only done it because Rishi Sunak was panicking and he wanted something as a legacy to remember Rishi Sunak by. This is where the big tobacco plan stems from. And the Labour Party picked up Rishi Sunak's tobacco plan, looked at it, got a pink crayon and scribbled Labour Party at the top and pink crayoned out any mention of the Conservatives. Because the white paper that we're looking at, with the exception of the tax plan and the licensing system plan, are basically all Conservative ideas. But over the course of the past 14 years, we've had it easy. We have. We have had no need for advocacy. Because all the way from David Cameron, all the way up to the first 2 years of Rishi Sunak's premiership, the Conservative Party left vaping alone. We're not under the Conservatives anymore. We're under the Labour Party. And there's one thing that Labour love to do. They love to control everything. They love to tell people what to do. They love to tell people what they can consume. They love to tell people, oh no, you can't do that. Vaping's bad. Do we all remember what the Shadow Health Secretary for Labour said about 3 years ago now? Vaping's as bad as smoking. She's not the health secretary now, it's Wes Streeting. But Wes Streeting has not made it public whether he is for or against vaping. And the fact he's not made it public, the fact he's dodging the question, leads me to believe he's against vaping. Otherwise he wouldn't have put his name to the white paper bill to do with vaping. So we're now under a Labour government. And any time a country gets rid of vaping, completely rid of it, it is, generally speaking, a left-leaning party that does it. Think about it. It's generally a left-leaning party that gets rid of vaping. Is the current Labour Party a traditional left-leaning party? That's a whole fucking video by itself. But traditionally speaking, they are a centre-left party, even though they're acting centre-right. They are still inherently a centre-left party. This is why I want someone from the Labour Party on the UK Vape Show, whether it be a peon down below in the basement. I want somebody from the Labour Party on the fucking UK Vape Show to answer fucking serious questions to do about vaping. That's why I'm going to be inviting John Dunn back on. That's why I'm going to be inviting Richard Sidebottom from Arcus Compliance. That's why I'm going to be contacting some people from within the UK industry, whether it be wholesalers, whether it be an actual vape shop owner, or whether it be people in a management position in big online vape shops. I want them on the UK Vape Show to give their side of the story, because here's the fucking kicker, folks. Some people probably already know this, but members of Parliament do watch the UK Vape Show. Granted, it's not been on that much because of health problems, either to do with myself or Aidan. But now that the UK Vape Show's back, I already got an email from one particular member of Parliament on the Labour side saying, congrats Vic, it's good to see the show back on. They're watching. They're watching. So, yeah. That's all plans for the future, though. It's all plans for the future. See this, by the way? Just buy it. Buy it. Yes, it closely resembles another tank. The guts of it closely resembles another tank out there. It's a fucking good tank, though. The Nightmare. If you haven't got it yet, go and buy it. It's a fucking good tank. I'm still not using the Osiris 25. It's there. There it is there. on my build stand. I haven't fucking used it since I got my hands on this. I mean, granted, this thing absolutely fucking plows through black vine, but oh my god, the flavour. Oh. Currently running it at 85 watts. Lovely, nice warm vape. Couple of 3-core aliens in here, wicked up with this bed stuffing stuff. It's the Maviton X that J Hayes made famous, and actually it does actually look like mattress stuffing, but it's a fucking good cotton. I just wish there was a UK distributor of that stuff, because the last time I checked, nobody in the UK was selling Maviton X. Nobody. But there we go, folks. That is it from me for now. The reviews will be back next week because the computer's actually finally fucking working and not crashing every 3 minutes. Have a good one.